Welcome to Nollywood Radio France. I'm your host, Cyprian Johnson. Today we're reporting directly from Paris on the second edition of Nollywood Week Festival.
Okay, so originally I wanted to go around and ask everybody to introduce themselves so that we know who is here. But we don't have to do that anymore. So we will go straight to the point. And basically, today we will talk about the Nigerian film industry, Nollywood as you know it, and how things can be done in partnership with France, in partnership with Francophone Africa, in partnership with the world in general. And we wanted to highlight first one initiative that will come to fruition in the fall of 2014, which is the Nadia Denton's book, which is called the Nigerian Guide to
Nigerian Filmmakers Guide to Success.
Nigerian Filmmakers Guide to Success. So Nadia, if you please can come with us. En fait, donc j'allais dire, en fait, donc l'initiative qui représente bien, en fait, ce dont on va parler, c'est le livre de Nadia Denton qui s'appelle le guide pour le succès pour les cinéastes nigérians. Et on va échanger avec Nadia sur cette initiative, sur voilà, ce dont il en ressort. And Nadia, so first of all, can you introduce yourself and introduce the book as well?
Okay, thank you. So as I said, I'm Nadia Denton. I've been working in the UK mainly with Black British filmmakers for the past 10 years. And in 2011, I wrote my first book, The Black British Filmmakers Guide to Success, Finance, Market and Distribute Your Film. So over the years, I've essentially put on film festivals and film events for filmmakers. But I've been very interested in how filmmakers can kind of further develop their careers in terms of getting finance, marketing, distribution, essentially looking at infrastructure. And this is essentially the basis for the Nigerian Filmmakers Guide.
Alors donc Nadia est donc basée en Angleterre, à Londres, et elle a donc écrit son premier livre qui s'appelle donc le guide pour le succès pour les Black British, les réalisateurs Black British. Et en fait, ce livre donc explique un peu comment financer ces films, comment avoir des financements, comment faire des coproductions, etc. Donc c'est vraiment un guide pratique pour les réalisateurs. Et aujourd'hui, elle a décidé d'adapter ce guide pratique à l'industrie du Nigeria parce que c'est donc une industrie qui l'intéressait particulièrement. So now you are doing this book. When is this book?
So the Nigerian Filmmakers Guide will be launched on the 20th of September at the British Film Institute. I've been working on the project for just over 2 years. The book at present has about 75 interviews, mainly with Nigerian filmmakers and contributors. So they're essentially sharing their experiences and best practice. The book also has guidance about how to get finance, like I said, marketing, distribution. It's basically like a kind of best tips guide.
Okay. Donc le livre sera prêt en septembre et donc c'est vraiment, comme je disais, un guide pratique pour arriver à trouver du financement, à développer ses projets, etc. Is there going to be at any point another guide to success, maybe for French black filmmakers?
I'm not sure. Funnily enough, when I wrote my first book, I planned to do a European version. But something just said I should write about Nigeria. And the Nigeria idea persisted. So I'm not sure what will come next. I have been having thoughts about maybe something like Kenya or Ghana. I'll see how it develops.
Ok, donc le guide pour le succès des réalisateurs afro-français n'est pas encore prévu pour demain, mais peut-être, parce que en attendant, elle aimerait bien aller plutôt du côté du Ghana, du Kenya, elle a d'autres projets, même si elle a aussi en tête de faire quelque chose, une version européenne de son livre. Alors je dis ça parce qu'en fait on va faire quand même le trait d'union, on est quand même en France, on est à Paris, et il y a aussi, là on se focalise sur Nollywood, mais il y a aussi une scène indépendante, une scène grandissante de réalisateurs, de producteurs, de gens qui font des films tout simplement, et ça peut être aussi des séries, ça peut être toutes sortes de choses. Et on va aussi en parler, on va les mettre en avant, notamment tout à l'heure avec Slow Nisso qui nous fait l'honneur d'être là avec nous. En attendant, avant d'arriver à ça, Nadia revient juste du Nigeria et elle va nous dire un peu comment s'est passé son voyage là-bas. So you're just coming back from Nigeria?
Yeah.
You spent a week or 10 days there.
Yeah, that's
Can
right.
you explain how it was and also really how important it was for your book.
Okay. Yeah, so I was there for 9 days, completing some extra interviews and research. I think essentially what I found is that there's a lot of information, a sort of richness in terms of the industry and people's experience, but it's not been documented, so there's inconsistencies in terms of what's on the internet and what people understand is happening, which actually varies when you actually speak to people. So I'm quite pleased that obviously having got the number of interviews I have and their first-hand testimonies, I am also looking to have a Nigerian launch sometime in the autumn, so the trip was quite helpful in terms of establishing extra contacts. And whilst I was on the ground in Nigeria, I was able to engage with more House of Filmmakers, which isn't something that tends to be discussed much when you're talking about Nollywood. I also was able to engage with some of the founding fathers of Nollywood, so I interviewed the director of Living in Bondage, who had a lot to say about what's currently happening in the industry. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what the response will be when it comes out.
Ok, donc elle revient d'un voyage de 9 jours au Nigeria où elle a pu vraiment aller beaucoup plus loin au niveau de ses recherches, elle a pu enrichir son travail, elle a même parlé à ce qu'on appelle les fondateurs de Nollywood, notamment le réalisateur de Living in Bondage, qui est un peu le film qui marque le départ de cette industrie en 1992. Elle a pu faire pas mal d'interviews, pas mal de contacts, etc. Et aussi elle a vu les différences entre ce qu'on voit sur Internet et ce que les gens disent. Parce que c'est vrai qu'avec Nollywood, c'est assez difficile d'avoir finalement des chiffres fiables, d'avoir des informations chiffrées, précises, etc. Et donc en étant sur place, elle s'est rendu compte de cette difficulté-là. Well, thank you Nadia for this. Thank you. And also, please keep in mind that the book is coming out September 21st of 2014, and I think it will be available online as well for people who are in London. So thank you very much. Donc le livre de Nadia qui va sortir. Maintenant, on va également parler d'autres de nos partenaires. Et à partir aussi du livre de Nadia, à partir de recherches qu'elle a fait sur le Nigeria, on a voulu identifier 3 points importants pour le développement de cette industrie. Donc on voulait se baser sur la production, la distribution et le financement. So I'm saying that based on the research that Nadia has done, we wanted to, out of that, focus on 3 main topics, which are production, distribution, and funding. We don't have that much time, so it's not going to be something very complete, but we wanted to, as I always say, this festival, the aim of the festival, the goal of the festival is to contribute to the growth of the Nigerian film industry and to open it up to new markets and everything. So, in that spirit, we have a partnership this year with a company called Ingenieux. Ingenieux will grant the Public Choice Award with their material that will be for free for the director that win the Public Choice Award. So I think there's nobody better to speak about it than Mr. Benoît Brice-Montier from Ingenieux.
Hello. Thank you. Good morning. So I will try to be very short because I know we are running out of time. I will just briefly explain why we are a partner with Nollywood. We are glad to be here with you. Ingenieux, I think most of you know Ingenieux. We are the French manufacturer of zoom lenses. We have been existing from 1935 in France, and we have been manufacturing cine zoom lenses from the 50s. So that means that Ingenieux is making things for the movie making for almost 70 years now. We are making high quality lenses, especially 100% zoom lenses, which is to be separated from prime lenses. So the purpose of being here with you today is, as we are trying to be among most of the features in today's movie making, we have been used on many features so far. We are using blockbusters every day. We are in many movies in Hollywood, France, everywhere. And we're also trying to spread across Africa, of course, because we want to be with the Nollywood film industry as it grows and it improves. So if we can help in any way to for directors to have the better equipment possible with the lowest price, we think we have to do it. So what we'll do, as Serge mentioned, is we'll loan for free one of our zoom lenses for 3 months for the winner of the show of the festival. For the next movie he will shoot. And doing that, we hope that people will be aware of the benefits of using a high quality zoom lens on shooting a movie. We have several type of lenses. We have expensive ones, and we also have cheap ones. So if people are interested in getting more information, I have catalogs here with the full range we have. But I have one sample here which is very interesting. If you want, I will just show it to you, and then you can just try it while we speak.
In the meantime, I'm going to translate. Alors, donc, Ingénieux donc, est une société qui existe depuis 1934. Donc ça fait plus de 70 ans qu'ils existent. Et ils travaillent en fait, donc ils font des zooms pour les films, pour le cinéma.
Ce genre de choses.
Voilà, ils travaillent avec des films très très réputés. Par exemple, pour donner un exemple, 12 Years a Slave. 12 Years a Slave, qui est sorti récemment et que vous connaissez tous, a été fait avec des optiques Ingénieux.
Pacific Rim.
Pacific Rim, voilà, enfin, il y en a d'autres. Donc plus de 100 films par an qui sont soutenus par Ingénieux, on va dire. Et là, le but, donc, c'était, ils ont un marché en Europe, ils ont un marché en Amérique, ils sont très présents en Asie également. Et l'Afrique, ils n'avaient pas forcément de porte d'entrée. Donc ils ont, identifié, un peu notre festival comme une porte d'entrée pour être présent également au Nigeria et pour pouvoir faire bénéficier de leurs produits les réalisateurs nigérians. Donc je crois que pour l'instant personne n'utilise vraiment ces optiques-là au Nigeria, mais à partir de maintenant ça va être le cas. Et c'est pour ça que c'est un partenariat qui nous intéresse et on espère que c'est le début d'une belle aventure entre Ingénieux et le Nigeria.
So actually, our optics are used in many countries, including African ones, South Africa, Morocco, for example. But it takes a bit of time to spread and to be known. So this is why we try to make people know about it. For example, this lens is a very light lens. It's like 2 kilograms, less than 2 kilograms, 1.9 kilograms. It's a cinematic lens, so of course it will give you a very cinematic look. It's a great quality lens. And this one is a new one we have just launched at ANAB in April. And what I wanted to show you is this lens is a very versatile one because, as you can see, it's set on a 70 lens, which is a classical photo lens, a photo camera, sorry. But these lenses can be used either with PL mount, if it's something which is clear for you, and EF mount, which is classical cinematic equipment. At the same time, with photo equipment also used for movie making. So, est-ce que tu peux m'aider? Je vais. Si tu veux traduire.
Donc voilà, donc là il montre précisément à quoi ça ressemble, les optiques Ingénieux. Et alors après il y a beaucoup de détails techniques que je...
No, okay. So just for you to understand clearly, this lens is actually with a mount which can be used with ARRI camera, RED camera, Sony camera, which is very cinematic type of cameras. But doing that just with no tools, just your fingers, you can switch the PL mount to EF mount, which is Canon mount. And then you can go with the classical 7D, 5D, C300 or C500. And you see, it just took me 10 seconds. And you don't need anything more than your fingers. And we are the only one in the industry doing that. So, especially for African markets, I think this is something to be considered because I know the type of equipment used can change and can be from time to time the one you can get at the real time you will have to shoot. So if you get to shoot with a 7D, you will use it a 7D, or then the next one you will use an Alexa or a RED or something. So with just one lens, you can use any camera, including Blackmagic cameras. So you can go from the very low budget to the very high budget equipment with just one type of lenses. So you can save a lot of money and a lot of time on a shooting because with just one or two of these lenses, you can shoot a full movie actually. And then you can get a very cinematic look and a very high quality look.
Voilà, donc je pense qu'il a réussi à convaincre l'audience. Donc on voit la flexibilité et la simplicité de l'utilisation des optiques Ingénieux qui sont apparemment aussi très adaptées au terrain en Afrique notamment, avec les équipements qui changent et qui évoluent très rapidement. Ça, il y a une flexibilité qui permet de travailler dans les bonnes conditions en Afrique avec les optiques ingénieux. I don't know if there's any questions about this. Yeah.
I have one. Hi.
Hi.
Pardon, my French is not very good, so I'll stick to English.
Okay.
This is you?
Good one. Ben is okay.
It's much better. I just wanted to confirm a few things. They're rather technical questions, but I'm sure they'll help considering we're dealing with your lens at the moment. Now, the usual zoom lens would give you anything from about 15 all the way up. What I've been reading on your lenses is that you can actually double the focal length. So instead of getting to about 300, you can literally double it and you can get a range of
680. Actually, we can go. We have our shorter range focal length is 15 millimeters, but we have wide angle adaptation, even wider, so you can go until less than 12 millimeters. And our longest range is 340. So if you use our doublers, you multiply by 2, of course, so you get until 680 millimeters. So yeah, we have a versatile range, which is absolutely very good for, as I mentioned before, using zoom lenses when they are very good. It's a great way to save time and money on a shooting, because you don't need to switch from one prime lens to another all the time. You save dust, you save risks and stress, and you save money because the cost of one zoom lenses is much lower than a full set of prime lenses.
I think it would be interesting maybe to know what is used in general. We have directors here, we have Mildred, we have Daniel. Chris is an actor, but he seems to know a lot about optic lens. We have Mahmoud, obviously. Moni, who can tell us maybe what is typically used in Nollywood, and then we will move on.
When we started, I mean, people were using the lenses that are stuck with the camera, the standard lenses that come with those cameras that are not changeable. But presently, people use prime lenses to shoot, to improve on their visual materials. But the interesting thing I took from you was that with 2 of your lenses, I'll be ready. I can do whatever I want to do. It's interesting to me because I'm trying to invest in some new Blackmagic cameras, and the interface of your lenses with that camera, I'll be interested because we'll speak after this.
Okay.
And the price range also. The price range, you need to know. With our budgets are usually from our pockets.
The price range.
Yeah, thank you.
So the price, combien ça coûte? En gros, ce qu'on a compris, c'est que ces anciens, ce qui était utilisé, c'est donc très différent de ça pour l'instant. Mais combien est-ce que ça coûterait, puisque ça représente un vrai intérêt, combien est-ce que ça coûte ces outils?
This is a really the key question, of course. So this lens, for example, is the beginning of our price range. So this one is a 30 to 76 millimeters. It's a 2.8 stop, and it's 18,000 euros, the price of it. So it's a lot of money, of course, but if you compare that to some prime lenses, ultra prime, master primes, which you know, of course, or even the CP2 from Zeiss, it's not so expensive because you will get a very, very cinematic look. We are also known to give pictures a very warm and very friendly look, which is not the case from Zeiss, for example. Ingenieux look is typical to be a bit warm and red, which is good for digital production because it's so sharp and so the definition is so high. Then from time to time you don't need so many details. So Ingenieux look is good for 4K shootings, of course, but the look is very appreciated.
Another question, and then we will wrap up.
Now, you mentioned that you have lower price and higher price. What range is this one?
It was the low price. This was the lowest. Lowest. This one.
Of course, it's a lot of money, as I mentioned, but we are speaking about movie-making equipment. So if you go to buy a Red camera or an Alexa camera, you will be in much higher prices than this one. A full Alexa package will be more than 100,000 euros for just the camera. If you go to a full set of Master Primes, it's 30,000 euros for one prime lens.
Okay, for considering the way Nollywood, and as Mahmoud said, sometimes the money comes from our pocket.
Yeah.
Is there a way, now that your company is interested in assisting in production, to have a good on the project, can we work on the price and be considered?
Actually, we are here. This is what we are trying to do with this.
Pardon, je fais la traduction. En fait, c'est au niveau du prix, donc effectivement, 18 000 euros, c'est la partie basse, et ça va jusqu'à une centaine de milliers d'euros.
Nos optiques, c'est jusqu'à 65 000.
Jusqu'à 65 000. Donc entre 18 et 65 000, ce qui a provoqué des réactions dans la salle. Voilà, c'est considéré comme cher. Donc là, il y a une question qui est est-ce qu'il y a des prix qui pourraient être éventuellement faits, notamment pour travailler avec l'industrie de Nollywood, vu que pour l'instant ce sont des budgets plus faibles, et aussi que l'ingénieur est intéressé par le marché nigérien.
To help people, we cannot, we don't make many discounts on our lenses because the production is everything is made in France. Everything has its cost. The glass is very expensive. I won't detail everything, but of course we cannot go very low in prices, much lower than this. But you know how it works. People go for renting most of the time. People don't go and buy. So maybe you can go for rental, or maybe you can associate, make it like an association by the three people of you to get one lens to share. I don't know, but of course we can help. This is why we are here. We will loan for free a lens for 3 months, which is actually around. The saving will be around 10,000 euros because the price of rental is like that for such a lens. But then we can go further and try to investigate how we can help, of course. But we are a company, we need also to make a living, so. And regarding, just to go back on the price, lens of course is expensive, but glass is glass, and you will never go for electronics into a lens. You just need glass, and what I want to say is glass, a lens will last like 20 to 30 years. Some people in Bollywood, for example, are using our lenses from the 80s, the same lens from the 80s until now, and they still use it because our lenses are very strong. And as I mentioned, glass is glass, so you cannot. It doesn't evolve a lot as cameras are doing. Cameras change every 6 months. Lenses, you will use a lens for 20 to 30 years. So it's an investment on the future.
Quick question: how about the maintenance throughout? Like, let's say, anyone like within this card is buying your product. Are you offering some sort of maintenance throughout time? Maintenance, yeah. The product.
Yeah. Je vais juste traduire rapidement avant d'arriver à cette question-là. Alors effectivement, ça coûte cher, mais comme il nous dit, en fait, on peut pas réduire de beaucoup tout ce qui concerne les optiques, en fait, parce que c'est pas vraiment possible techniquement. Et au-delà de ça, ce sont des optiques qui durent très longtemps. Donc par exemple à Bollywood aujourd'hui, ils utilisent encore des optiques des années 80. C'est bien ça, d'ingénieurs, et ça continue de fonctionner, il n'y a pas de problème. C'est quelque chose qui dure très longtemps, contrairement aux caméras qui durent plus 6 mois et qui changent à chaque fois. Alors maintenant il y a une question par rapport à la maintenance de ces optiques-là, parce qu'effectivement ça peut être intéressant d'avoir accès à ça, mais ensuite la maintenance, est-ce que ça coûte cher, comment est-ce que ça se passe? Maintenance of the lenses, how does it work?
We have like 2 years guarantee, of course, on the lenses, and then we have a service department in the factory which is working 100% on the lenses. So the price of the service will depend on what you have to do on the lens. If you just crush the front element, of course, it will cost a lot of money. But if there's just some kind of setting, it will be like 200 euros for the maintenance. I don't know.
On va prendre une toute dernière question sur le sujet, et après, de toute façon, Benoît est présent pour répondre aux questions.
Bonjour, je ne vais pas parler anglais, donc tu vas traduire. Je m'appelle Catherine Jean-Joseph et je vis ici à Paris. Je me dis, quelle est la contrepartie pour le marché nigérian, d'avoir vos lentilles, d'avoir votre matériel, puisque effectivement c'est cher, que le budget, même s'il l'achète à plusieurs, il la partage et tout, mais le budget d'un film nigérian est voilà, 18 000 €, je trouvais ça énorme, donc il faut bien une contrepartie au fait que le marché nigérian vous intéresse. Eux, ça les intéresse, je pense, également d'avoir il y a bien une contrepartie, et quelle est-elle? Et est-ce que ça ne serait pas une possibilité de commencer en leur fournissant, je sais que c'est très cher, mais c'est un marché qui est très très prometteur, et est-ce qu'il y aurait un moyen de voir avec eux? Je sais pas, mais ça me semble assez juste.
Okay, so the question to Ingenieur here is, what else can be done by Ingenieur since they're interested in Nigeria and the Nigerian market? Considering the prices, considering the differences of budgets and everything, how far can Ingenieur go to get into the Nigerian market?
So of course we will go on, I hope, collaborating with the Nollywood Festival each year to loan lenses for movie makers to use our lenses for free. What we do in many countries on top of that is we organize workshops from time to time. We go in some cine schools to have people try the lens, to teach them, if we can, about optics and quality of picture, etc. But then, I don't know what you have in mind exactly, but we can help also in local festivals, for example, things like that. But then we won't force anybody to buy any lenses. Of course, the choice is everybody's. Anyone will choose its own equipment. So we are just here to make people know the equipment, and then people will choose by themselves. I'm just here to point out the fact that it could be a nice advantage for people, because they will get high quality once again with a price which is not, it's high, but compared to the other type of equipment, is not so high. I don't know if it's. If I
on va devoir conclure sur cette partie. Donc en gros, la réponse c'est que pour l'instant leur action, on va dire, commence avec ce festival, et puis pourra également peut-être s'étendre à d'autres festivals localement. Mais c'est très difficile d'aller au-delà, notamment encore une fois par rapport aux prix qui sont parfois incompressibles. Voilà.
Pardon, toutes les idées sont accueillies.
He's open to ideas and everything too.
Coproduction.
Voilà.
Oh, ok, so we talk about it.
Okay. Parce que l'essayer, c'est l'adopter, donc peut-être l'essayer d'abord.
Et ben, à l'issue du festival.
Just so you know, he's not leaving now. So when after this, we can always talk with him and get more information on this. And he has catalogs as well. He has everything. So I guess Ingenieur is coming to Nollywood. It's a good response. It's good.
Do you want just to have the lens in your hands just to see the weight of it?
I think he's trying to make some sales now.
You will get the full information.
Okay.
Yeah?
Now we'll go to the next one because this is production. Lens is one thing, but there's also what happens before you get on set, how to organize the team, how to plan everything. And for this, there's another company that is partnering with us called Melusine. It's a new company, I believe, not so yet. And they're going to explain what they do and how it could benefit Nollywood. Donc, on va parler avec. Il va parler 2 secondes et ensuite on va mettre une vidéo.
C'est pas de vidéo d'abord.
Ok.
Je vais parler avant. Ça vous va?
Je suis désolé.
Aucun problème.
Alors, on va regarder une petite vidéo. We will watch a 2-minute clip of the company Melusine.
Why do we love movies and TV so much? It's because it's all about emotions, feeling sensations that we rarely experience in normal life. But behind this movie awesomeness, there's a team and a family who make it happen. It's the dream factory, right? But it's a lot of hard work and it requires a lot of organization. Did you know that there were more people on James Cameron's Titanic crew than on the actual Titanic ship? That's a lot of people to manage and a lot of stuff to organize. Even with the best preparation, movie and TV production can quickly get out of control. For example, because it was so hard to organize such a massive project, the budget of Titanic swelled from $100 million to $200 million. Okay, Titanic was a great movie, but more generally speaking, a great film means a great team with great organization. So if you're launching your next project, how can you coordinate work among your teams? Sure, you can use emails, Excel spreadsheets, Google Doc, and why not Dropbox? But getting everyone on the same page, taking decisions, getting organized with so many tools is a nightmare. That's why we created Melusine. Melusine is a web platform where you can actually work with your teams, collaborating to centralize, organize, and share everything. Melusine is your tool to better work together. Steve is a filmmaker. He just wrote The Wizard and the Blue T-Rex and hired a production crew. On Melusine, he can now create a project, import his script, invite the set team, the casting team, the costume team, the props team, and more. Take set designers for instance. They have their own space on Melusine to list and control all the items they will need in front and behind the camera. They can write notes or simply select the right scenes. They can also add any kind of document or simply find inspiration on the web. But wait, there's more. Thanks to Melusine's smartphone app, they can suggest sets on the go. All key information is centralized and can be shared using preset and customized access rights. Steve can now see the great locations found by the set team, can review ongoing work, and save time while choosing the best elements for the story. Scene 4 is ready for shooting. Can't wait to see the Blue T-Rex. With Melusine, the team works together to create awesome content. Check it now on melusine.com.
Voilà donc. Hello? Okay, so this was Melusine, and we have Alex who will introduce the company.
Hi everyone. Well, actually, I'm gonna speak about Melusine a bit because you've seen pretty much everything here. But I'm here to talk to you about something is happening right now, something that is emerging in different countries around the world, and there is no reason that it shouldn't be in Nollywood as well. It's basically what we call production in the cloud. Now, in the audience, could anyone that is whether a producer or filmmaker please raise their hand? Just to know. Okay, fantastic crowd. Okay, thanks. Well, basically, your work is about to change. For one simple reason, most of you have smartphones, and most of you use the web every day to send emails or share documents. So it's already part of your production workflow in a way. And today there is a new generation of tools that are emerging and that are using those new way of communication, web and smartphones and tablets as well, to synchronize production crews and allow you to go way faster in prep. With Melusine, we are already working with major television shows and films, and basically people go as up to 3 times faster in prep. 3 times. It's a lot of days and a lot of money, a tremendous amount of money. And basically, this is what we do. We provide you with a new generation of software to synchronize your crew on mobile, on the web, to optimize your pre-production. And we have also a partnership with the Nollywood Festival, and basically we will offer free access of what we developed after the festival to some winners. Now I'll be there. I'll be enjoying a coffee after the films, basically between noon and 2 p.m. So if you want to ask questions, if you want to come and talk to me about those new technologies for filmmakers and producers, I'll be there to answer your questions, and I can discuss with you about what we do and show you some examples, give you some like free codes you can trade for yourself. basically, I'm here for you to have you discover these new tools for you. That's it.
Merci beaucoup Alex. Et on va faire une traduction rapide pour ceux qui ne comprennent pas. Donc voilà, Mélusine, un outil qu'on a pu voir sur le spot qui permet vraiment d'optimiser le temps, les ressources humaines pour la production. Voilà, c'est même une pré-production, c'est vraiment de l'organisation, du timing, etc., les ressources allouées aux bons endroits. Et c'est quelque chose qui se fait à partir des smartphones, qui se fait à partir de... voilà, qui est très flexible. En fait, tu aurais fait la traduction. Mais, voilà. Et donc, Mélusine est partenaire de Nollywood Week. Et du coup, il y aura des logiciels gratuits qui seront offerts à tous les films sélectionnés. By the way, the free trial to Mélusine is for all the selected films. It's all the official selection selected films. Okay, so now, I mean, I'm sure you will have questions, but again, he's around. So now we'll go to the next point, which is funding. Funding in Nollywood in general, and then we will also spread and talk about how it's done here. And we want to hear from the filmmakers that we have here from Nollywood, because, you know, a lot is said about Nollywood. Some people say that, you know, the movies are made in 2 weeks. Some people say, you know, there's a lot of things that are said. And so we want to have a word from you, not only about the typical budget of the production of your films, but also about how you raise the money, because you know, in the systems are very different, and we would like to learn from you. So I see Mildred here, and she didn't know about that, but she will have to speak. Your movie. Sorry. Your movie is The Meeting, which will be shown. It will be the next film actually from 1:30. We would like to know more about the production of that film and maybe how it was for you to raise the money and all that.
Oh. Well, like Bamoun said, it all comes from our pockets. Even though Nollywood has been around for 20 years, most of the rich and elite in Nigeria, and I suppose Africa, don't believe in the art of filmmaking. In fact, they don't believe in the arts really, so they hardly fund it. But recently we've been making some strides, so you're finding a few people coming in and trying to fund films. But when we got that script, I know a lot of millionaires, nobody gave me money. They refused. They said we couldn't tell them how to make their money back, because most people think of their money back in 2-3 months. You know, there's so much stuff you can do in Nigeria and make your money, make 200% profit in a few months. So to tell them to invest in a film and wait for months and years is like, they don't want to hear that. So we ended up having to use our money. So it took us a little bit more time to raise our own funds.
How much was the budget for?
No, actually, between when we got the script and shot, we spent close to 22 million naira.
22 million naira.
Yeah, you hear people screaming 200. That's about 22 million naira, and at least I've made back my money for now. And we had to, and another thing is that we had to cut out a few things. When I look at it now, like I wanted to get some aerial shots of stuff going on, and that cost like $21,000 for. They told me I needed to pay $21,000 for 3 hours. I said, okay, let's cut that out. So.
Did you also use product placement?
It leaves a sour taste in my mouth, because yes, we had somebody a company that said they were going to do product placement, and they withdrew last minute. I don't want to call their name for now. But really, the only product placement that came through was the Tony Elumelu Foundation, hers holding. So I hold them in my heart, you know, and then a few other people here and there. But it was mostly money and loans that we have to pay back.
I will translate that. So, alors ce que nous dit Mildred, donc, qui est la réalisatrice du film The Meeting qui va passer tout à l'heure, nous dit que la plupart des fonds en fait, qu'elle a mis dans ce film viennent vraiment d'elle-même. Ce sont des fonds personnels. Et elle a eu aussi, alors il y a eu un peu de placement de produits et elle a eu un peu de sponsoring, mais vraiment uniquement un sponsor en fait en particulier qui est la fondation Tony Elumelu. Et elle a dit que The Health Holding Foundation. Health Holding, ok. Et donc, en fait, ce qu'elle disait aussi, c'est qu'il y a quand même, malgré l'engouement, malgré le nombre de films qui sortent au Nigeria, il y a quand même un manque de soutien de la part des autorités, de la part aussi de ceux qui pourraient être des mécènes, en fait. Il y a des millionnaires, il y a des milliardaires au Nigeria, mais pour l'instant, l'investissement dans les films et dans les arts, de manière générale, reste difficile. So, from the picture that we get, it was not easy at all to make that film. You know, again, how does that happen? Because there's just, 100,000 to make this film. Some others spend 200,000, 300,000. It just seems almost impossible that this industry is still around and is still growing and everything, despite the lack of support and everything. So how do you explain that?
Heart. Gotta have heart. Hustle. We just have to make it. It's in you. You know, when you have that thing. I was practicing law in California and left it to come do this. It's something I love doing, and if you don't do it, you will not be at peace. Mahmoud has been making films, complaining for 40 years. He just loves what he does, and we know that if we stop, the next generation won't be able to make films. So that we're able to come to Paris and do this. Hey, people that were doing this 4, 5, 10 years ago wouldn't have thought of this. So it's the resilience of the people who work in the industry that drives it. And we will get there one day.
Pour traduire, elle dit que vraiment les difficultés sont énormes, mais ce qui fait que l'industrie tient et continue d'avancer, c'est le cœur. Ils y croient, il y a une conviction énorme. On parle par exemple de Mahmoud Ali Balogun qui a aussi fait des films depuis 40 ans et qui, malgré les difficultés, continue d'avancer. Et elle espère que les choses vont s'améliorer au niveau des financements, etc., et de la facilité pour faire les choses. Mais pour l'instant, c'est la conviction, le hustle, il n'y a pas de traduction pour ça, qui permet vraiment que Nollywood tienne aujourd'hui. I have a last point, maybe somebody else also can answer. You know, the world, overall, the Western world especially, is going through crisis year after year. We always talk about crisis. And cinema is an industry that is definitely hit by the crisis. So a lot of people, even in Hollywood, say that actually they are looking at Nollywood, at how to make films with less money. Because, you know, we were talking about Titanic and the losing clip, but nobody is putting this kind of money now into making films. So I think Nollywood has something to teach the rest of the world as well in terms of optimizing costs, optimizing time and everything. So maybe Mahmoud can tell us something about that.
Yeah. Yes, I think one thing that is germane to our industry is the way we make our movies. Right? Yes, my last movie I did, I shot on 35, and the budget is nothing to write home about. I don't think the budget can even pay any actor in Hollywood. Yes. In Nigeria, considered big budget because for 35, I mean, it's something close to about $500,000. That's a lot of money, right? But because it was on 35 and it took me to about 5 countries because I was trying to cut costs all over the place. But what I'm trying to say here is this, right? We don't have some of the encumbrances, I'll call them, that you have in the Western world when it comes to movie making. The unions, the handicaps they give you, what we do in Nigeria is that you want to do your film, you have your money, as fast as you can finish it. It's an important thing. When people say we do movies for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, it doesn't affect the quality. It's the way we work as a community. Right? In Hollywood and some other industries, the actor cannot touch a prop once it's finished the scene. He cannot move a set. I remember when I was doing Tango with Me, the crew I brought in from LA, when they came to Nigeria, they said, we're not going to finish the film in 4 weeks. Right? And I said, why? They said, because they shoot 4, maximum 5 pages a day. And my production schedule had 8 pages, 9 pages. And I told them, we will finish. Right? Yes, we have to finish. They didn't believe me. They were hoping that they would go back to Hollywood and come back. But when we started working, right, and we finished the scene, and I got up from my director's chair, I moved the chair, I started moving the things, the actors were helping me to move. They said, oh, Mr. Director, no, please, please, please. I said, no, that's not how we work. Everybody works. When they're acting, the actors are doing their thing. Once the director says, cut, you see people helping to move the lights here, people help to adjust the set. That is why we don't spend too much time. What they will use a whole day to do, maybe 2, 3 scenes, we use that day to do about 6, 8 scenes. That's the way we work. So that's one of the ways we cut costs. And we don't work per hour. We get to set and say, look, the actor wants to finish the job, or the crew member wants to finish the job, and move to the next one. We don't work per hour, right? We work per project. I offer you $10,000 to do something for me. You want to do it as fast as possible, not compromising quality. So those are some of the ways that we cut down this cost. I remember when they were doing, what's the name? Half of a Yellow Sun, right? And they brought and they did it in Chiwetel. And they were there in the hotel, they were paying them per day, per hour. Things were not happening, and their budget kept going up. Kept going up. That doesn't happen in Hollywood, in Nollywood. Mildred wants to shoot a movie, gives you your bill, as you give her your bill, this, and she wants to finish the job as fast as possible, not compromising quality, right? And then again, things are getting better now. You have venture capitalists beginning to come into Nollywood. Your equity is involved. You get people to invest here and there, little monies, and it's beginning to change. It's beginning to change. Thank you.
Alors c'était un témoignage très intéressant de la part de Mahmoud Ali Balogun, un vétéran de l'industrie Nollywood. Et parce que donc Mildred nous a expliqué à quel point c'était difficile de lever des fonds, etc. Et donc je lui ai demandé, mais en même temps, dans le reste du monde, on dit souvent que c'est la crise, et que justement quand c'est la crise, le cinéma est le premier à être affecté. Parce que finalement, ça coûte très cher de faire des films, et c'est là qu'on peut couper facilement les budgets. Donc quelque part, Nollywood a aussi quelque chose à apprendre, à enseigner au reste du monde sur la manière de faire des films à moindre coût, la manière d'optimiser les coûts, etc. Et donc, quelle était la recette de Nollywood pour arriver à faire autant de films malgré toutes ces difficultés. Et Mahmoud nous a fait un témoignage où il explique que la mentalité est différente, que la base qui compte, tout en essayant de préserver la qualité, bien évidemment, il y a une rapidité qui s'applique au projet, parce qu'on ne pense pas par heure, on pense par projet déjà, et ensuite il y a un peu moins de bureaucratie de manière générale avec les différents corps qui sont impliqués dans la production d'un film. C'est vraiment plus, comme on dit en mode Nollywood, il y a une partie où chacun doit faire plusieurs choses, avoir plusieurs casquettes. On est réalisateur, mais on s'occupe aussi du montage, on s'occupe aussi d'autres choses, et l'idée c'est d'aller le plus vite possible. D'aller le plus vite possible, ça c'est quelque chose d'assez important qui est lié au contexte nigérian, et qui fait qu'ils arrivent à faire des films donc avec, on a dit, 100 000, 200 000, jusqu'à 500 000 parfois, mais ce sont des coûts quand même très restreints grâce à cette rapidité d'action. Alors, Nollywood, c'est donc... sorry, we have to...
Yeah, can I just throw in a point, because your question was, what do we thought in terms of the situation financially right now? One of the things that, the Hollywood came and named Nigerian film industry Nollywood. We are aware of that. The other thing we taught Hollywood is that this digital camera they are using started in Nigeria. So when you use 35mm, you can't look back what you are shooting right away. So by being able to use video in Nollywood, we're able to look back what we shot right away and correct it. So in editing type, so Hollywood picked that up. And that's when they even have to have a school to teach, because I live in Los Angeles, to teach their people how to shoot on digital. And you can see the perspective, what is making Nollywood so popular also, is that the advert that the mere fact that they are using digital camera right now to shoot a movie was inspired from Nigeria.
Un autre point important ici, qui nous est dit par une personne qui habite aux États-Unis, à Los Angeles, et qui nous dit que l'autre contribution de Nollywood finalement, c'est d'être passé au digital très vite. Parce que finalement, aujourd'hui, tout le monde est au digital, mais que le digital a commencé, enfin le numérique a commencé au Nigeria. Et les Nigérians ont tout de suite adopté le numérique parce que ça permet aussi de corriger avant même le montage les scènes qui sont faites, etc. Et maintenant, le reste du monde s'est mis au diapason et même, ils enseignent même à la manière de faire des films sur le support numérique. Et donc ça, c'est une autre contribution du Nigeria dans le cinéma en général. Alors, on voulait aussi mettre en avant des expériences françaises sur la réalisation, la production, qui sont un petit peu pas faites de manière traditionnelle. Et donc pour en parler, on va amener Sonny So, qui va nous parler un petit peu de son expérience. So I was saying that, we were talking about Nollywood, and Nollywood's, at the end of the day, even though it's coming from Nigeria, it's also a spirit, as we heard with Mahmoud. It's a way of thinking. So this way of thinking is also in existence here in France, and we have some filmmakers that do things in a way that is not so traditional, so bureaucratic, and one of them is Sonny So, so he will tell us about his project and his work.
Bonjour. Je vais essayer d'être assez concis. Effectivement, en France, comme vous le savez tous, il y a un système de production qui est très long, très installé, qui demande énormément de bureaucratie. Et qu'effectivement, il y a beaucoup de jeunes réalisateurs et de moins jeunes qui prennent, on va dire, l'arrivée du numérique pour s'accaparer aussi une partie du cinéma. Et j'en veux pour preuve que, et d'ailleurs, étrangement, ça se passe aussi beaucoup en banlieue. C'est pas forcément des gens de la FEMIS ou qui font des grandes écoles de cinéma qui utilisent ce mode de production qui arrive aujourd'hui, qui est basé sur le mode de Nollywood. C'est-à-dire de faire avec ce qu'on a sous la main et de produire vite mais sans nuire à la qualité et d'aller taper de l'argent surtout dans des domaines privés et éviter au maximum les domaines, tout ce qui touche les institutions, c'est-à-dire CNC, chaînes de télévision, parce qu'on sait très bien que c'est un système dans lequel les gens ont énormément l'habitude de travailler ensemble et c'est très dur aujourd'hui d'intégrer ce système-là. Donc les gens se passent de ce système-là. Je viens de le faire avec un long métrage qui s'appelle Les Petites Femmes de Paris.
So what he was saying is that in France, indeed, there is this spirit of doing things differently, because the French system in terms of cinema is very bureaucratic. You have everything is centralized, basically. Everything is centralized, and the government is involved in the production of films. And now, especially in outside of the city, outside of Paris, in the what we call the banlieue, where it's the suburbs, everything at the periphery of the city, you have people who are thinking differently, who are thinking the way people think in Nollywood, which is first to get private money and not public money, because public money takes a lot of time in terms of applying for funds and this kind of things. And also they don't necessarily come from great cinema schools as they exist here. They learn on as they go, and he represents that new school of thought in a way, which is now happening in France, and he will tell us more about the films that he's done.
Okay. Donc en fait l'idée c'est simple, c'est de prendre les forces vives qui y a autour de soi, et c'est vrai qu'il faut limiter au maximum les intermédiaires. C'est ce qu'on a fait. On a créé une équipe de 10 techniciens. Le budget du film a coûté quasiment 100 000 €, 25 jours de tournage. On a bien sûr payé très très peu, voire pas. Et on a tourné avec une RED épique quand même, avec des lens, des eyes qui nous ont été gentiment prêtés. Et en fait, tout ça pour dire qu'à l'arrivée, ça sera un film qui, après post-production, tout ça coûtera aux alentours de 250 000 €. Et bien sûr, ça demande au réalisateur, donc bien sûr d'écrire, de réaliser, de faire. Enfin, moi j'ai fait le cadre et la lumière en même temps. Et tout le monde avait effectivement plusieurs postes. Donc ça rejoint ce que j'entendais tout à l'heure à Nollywood. Je pense que c'est possible. En plus, il y a une vraie liberté de faire comme ça. C'est-à-dire que c'est pas une contrainte. Enfin, ce qu'on peut penser comme une contrainte ne l'est pas, puisque artistiquement parlant, je trouve que ça donne une dynamique incroyable. Ça demande à être super réactif, on est beaucoup plus créatif, et je pense que pour les comédiens, voilà, je pense qu'il y a l'idée c'est un peu comme c'est pas de l'improvisation bête, mais où on ne sait pas trop ce qu'on dit ni ce qu'on a à faire. C'est d'improviser l'instant de ce que l'instantanéité peut apporter à l'art dans sa force, dans sa force artistique. Et je pense que quand on est capable de s'adapter à toutes les situations et de s'adapter aussi à ce que la vie nous offre, bien sûr, quand on a une caméra, c'est toujours très compliqué parce que souvent quand on n'a pas d'autorisation, quand on a, voilà, il y a beaucoup de contraintes, mais que ça peut aussi être une force artistique. Voilà, c'est ce que je veux dire.
So Sonny was basically explaining. So his film was shot for 100,000 euros. At the end, with post-production and everything, he's thinking that it would be around 250,000 maximum. He used a lot of people around him to work on the film. He himself was the director, but also he was doing the lights and he was behind the camera. So it's definitely that school of thought that Mahmoud was talking about, that Mildred was talking about, that he's applying as well. And he feels that it's important to not see it as a constraint, but more so as an opportunity, because it's an opportunity to express yourself more freely as an artist. You don't depend on anybody. Nobody can dictate what you put in your film, and so he sees that as such. Slowly, je t'ai pas bien pris, j'ai pas donné le nom de tes films, etc. Donc est-ce que tu peux en parler?
Oui, donc en fait j'ai fait surtout 5 courts-métrages, donc j'ai quasiment cumulé 500 festivals et quasiment une centaine de récompenses avec tous les films. Et là je suis passé... donc j'ai signé aussi des longs-métrages. Là j'ai 2 longs-métrages en production avec Mon voisin production de Dominique Besnier et Michel Feller. Donc c'est une comédie romantique, c'est des films là qui se produisent de manière très traditionnelle. J'ai un autre film qui s'appelle Sigiso aussi en production, mais mon premier long métrage, je l'ai donc fait tout seul. J'ai monté une structure de production en Belgique avec des gens qui font de l'attaque shelter, c'est comme ça que j'ai réussi à avoir 100 000 €, bien que le film ait été tourné en France, et je me suis dit que pour un premier film, j'allais démarcher avec le marché asiatique. Je vous dis ça pourquoi? Parce que l'actrice principale est japonaise, l'acteur principal est espagnol. Le film se passe à Paris, donc c'est un film très international. Et l'idée, c'est de démarrer avec le Festival international de Tokyo en octobre et de revenir gentiment vers la France, parce que je sais que les systèmes de distribution française étant très très complexes, voilà, et que si le film n'a pas eu une vie avant et s'il n'a pas un peu s'il n'est pas un petit peu funky pour les gens qui vont le voir ici, il n'a aucune chance de distribuer, voire il va se retrouver dans 2-3 salles à réessai et après c'est mort. Donc pour que je puisse éventuellement trouver un petit peu de distribution française, il faut qu'il ait trouvé un peu de glamour en dehors de la France. Voilà.
So he's explaining that in terms of his films, he's also looking outside of France. His film is very international. Happens in France, but with the main lead actress that is Japanese and also some people from Spain. So it's very important for him to also not be trapped in the French system, even in terms of the distribution of the film. He has a global approach, and that helps his films and his career. He has 5 shorts and
là j'ai 3 longs-métrages en production.
3 feature films that are in production right now and 5 shorts that are done. Oui, Catherine,
je vais rajouter quelque chose parce que Sony est quand même très modeste, parce que sa façon de produire et sa façon de faire l'a amené quand même à recevoir pour son dernier court-métrage au festival de Savannah le Grand Prix HBO, toutes catégories confondues. Voilà, je tenais à le dire parce qu'il ne le dit pas, mais ça prouve que cette façon de fonctionner et la créativité qui en découle fonctionne.
So we're told now by Catherine that he also received the prize from the Savannah Festival in the US and with the acquisition by HBO. So his film has been recognized, and his way of working has been recognized. So we are thinking that this new school of thought, this new approach, which we believe is also inspired by Nollywood, will become more and more prominent here in France. Thank you, Sylvie. So we are now on the last point, and we don't have that much time, but we will have a few talks about, a few words about distribution, because when you make your film, it's important to have it distributed, to have it seen, and this is difficult when, showing Nollywood in France is not easy. One, language, two, cultural differences and everything, but things are moving, and to talk about it, we will first bring Nollywood TV, that is a channel that was started here in France some 2 years ago now, and we have Clémentine from the channel who will talk about it.
Hello. Yes, I'm the CEO of the channel called Nollywood TV. I don't know if some of them know the channel. We launched the channel just a year and a half ago in France first, and then in French-speaking Africa. And yes, we are quite proud of what has been done, because so far, after only a year of existence in Africa, the channel is really, really successful, because, for example, in Ivory Coast or in Cameroon, we made some surveys, official surveys, which said that the channel is now at the third place in the country, just after the national channels. So, which is great, because so we can definitely notice that the Nollywood movies is a great success even in French-speaking Africa. Just to let you know, all the movies are dubbed in French. So I think that's what made the success of the channel, because for the French-speaking Africa, it has to be in French.
Alors, donc, Nollywood TV est une nouvelle chaîne qui existe depuis 2 ans, qui est en France mais également en Afrique francophone, et les films sont doublés en français, ce qui contribue au succès de cette chaîne. Est-ce que tu peux nous parler aussi des plans, des projets futurs de Nollywood TV, notamment, je crois, dans la production également?
Yes, the next step for Nollywood TV, we are looking into co-production, because thanks to the success of the channel, we are really looking into that to get some exclusive content on the channel. So I have a meeting just after the festival this afternoon with a producer from Nigeria to talk about co-production. So yeah, that's really something we are looking into it.
Alors donc il y aura des coproductions que Nollywood TV va maintenant faire également, et on a donc des producteurs dans la salle. Une question, Idjoma?
How do you source for these movies? Because I understand that that's what you show. Movies, how do you source for them? How much do you pay for them? Thank you.
L'acquisition de ces films, comment ça se passe?
So we mostly get the movies that are broadcast on Nollywood TV with 2 partners, which are, and I can imagine the reaction, which are Mnet and Iroku TV. But just after the Nollywood Week last year, I've started direct discussions with the producers just like you.
So actually, let's be very concrete, let's be very practical. You have directors and producers here, you have Mildred, you have Daniel, you have Tope, you have Omoni, you have Mahmoud. What can be done? What can be done so that the meeting can maybe be on Nollywood TV, or I don't know, Journey to Self? What can be done now, and how does it work with Nollywood TV?
Honestly, yeah, I have to be honest. The thing is that we broadcast a new movie every day on Nollywood TV, so definitely we need quite a huge volume for the channel. So of course we can't afford to pay movies several tens of thousands euros. It's just not possible for us. And the thing is that, yeah, we get quite cheap, yeah.
But when you do co-production, how is that going to work? Because co-production also has a cost. How is it going to work for Nollywood TV?
we won't be, of course, the only producers on the movie, and the thing is just something new for Nollywood TV right now. But the idea is, of course, to get an exclusive right for the first broadcast of the movie on our channel, and then, of course, the movie will have the possibility to be broadcast everywhere else. The thing is that as our channel is in French, and as we dub all the movies in French, we are not looking for rights in English Africa, but only in French-speaking Africa, which is another market, I think.
That's a big market as well.
Which one? Which one is it? Oh, the French. Okay, yes. But are you willing as well? She was saying that she doesn't have necessarily big budgets for acquisition. So is this something possible? Because we understand also that there's an inflation of prices for acquisition in Nollywood films. Will you be interested in selling your film to Nollywood TV, for instance, even if it's at a reduced price?
It's negotiation.
That's a discussion.
It's a discussion after.
Okay. Sorry for my butt in. My name is Sope. I'm a director producer as well. About your question, if we would be willing to, the point is Nollywood TV is based on Nollywood movies. And, I mean, the best people to talk to in the end would be the producers and directors of those movies. So either we like it or not, either you like it or not, it's a discussion that we must have. And we need to come to a decision and come to an agreement as to how to move forward with it.
There's a very important point I have to make. You could buy from Iroko and Mnet because for years the Nigerian producers and directors were not reading their contracts. I made sure they started reading their contracts by shouting every day on Twitter and Facebook. Now they're reading their contracts, so they won't sell those rights to Mnet and all these people anymore for as cheaply. So you make a movie, and some of these people will call you and offer you $10,000 for 5 years for all your rights. And then they turn around to sell it to people like this and make so much more money. People are being exploited. And that's because a lot of the people who started this industry weren't aware of how far-reaching the industry is. Most of them didn't even know it was showing outside. When I told them that a company, is it Seme? There's a company called... there's a French company that bought rights from Mnet about 3, 4... Exactly. And a lot of the producers didn't even know that their films were being resold. They thought, okay, I'm selling it to Mnet. I can now go to France. But Mnet was getting rights.
All right.
So exactly, which Mnet didn't do anything wrong because they're doing what's on their contract. It's for you to read your contract. You know what I mean? What they did wasn't wrong. It's in their contract. But now that people are reading contracts more, you'll find that the good films, you won't find them on those channels. Because I spent money to make this film. I need to make some money. So when you offer me that amount of money for so many years, you know what I mean? It's not worth it for me. I'll sleep with it under my bed.
Okay. Alors, juste une petite traduction. Donc, il y a un problème. Il n'y a pas un problème légal en tant que tel, puisque les films qui sont acquis par Nollywood TV sont achetés à Mnet directement ou alors à Iroko, donc tout est légal. Sauf que, comme disait Mildred, qui est une ancienne avocate, beaucoup de producteurs de Nollywood avant ne lisaient pas leur contrat. Et maintenant, les choses ont changé. Les gens lisent les contrats de manière plus précise. Et du coup, il y a une discussion qui doit avoir lieu entre les diffuseurs et les producteurs pour que les bases soient nouvelles. Il y a une contribution?
Yeah, it's interesting that Nollywood TV is here again. I mean, we met last year, and there's a new direction that rights management is taking these days. And some of you are aware of the collective management organizations that are springing up as regards IP rights, intellectual property rights, all over the world now. Because filmmakers, artists, and all those people cannot necessarily monitor the exploitation of their works the world over. Because of that, there are organizations springing up right now, collective management organizations that you have that are charged with this responsibility. In Nigeria, we have what we call now Audiovisual Rights Society of Nigeria. whether you signed contract 10 years ago, 20 years ago, right? Because it's an organization that collectively manages the rights of people who are their members, right? And they also manage rights of people they have reciprocal agreements with outside Nigeria. So Nollywood TV, fine, what you've been doing is good, but we'll be getting in touch with you very soon. I'm the chairman of that organization, right? I informed you last year. We'll be getting in touch.
I tried to contact you.
I know. I refuse to respond to your emails. I refuse to respond to your emails deliberately because we're going to get to you. All the people exploiting our works, you will have to sign agreements with us. Whatever you signed with Mnet, Iroko, they're going to come null and void very soon by our laws, by WIPO laws, that's the World Intellectual Property Organization, because there are certain conventions that are violated by those people who signed those contracts with you. We'll get to you. Very soon we'll get to you. Thank you.
Alors, donc là on a eu une contribution de la part de Mahmoud, enfin, je crois qu'il y aura un droit de réponse à en gros, voilà, donc on parlait des contrats qui ne sont pas bien vus par les producteurs, et là Mahmoud nous expliquait qu'il y avait des nouveaux dispositifs qui étaient mis en place au Nigeria pour que les droits soient revalorisés, soient vus de manière différente, et que donc très bientôt il y aura une discussion qui va s'établir avec Nollywood TV, une réponse rapide avant qu'on passe à une autre manière de distribuer.
Yeah. Just to let you all know, I would be very pleased to discuss with all of you, but just to understand everything, we need around 500 fresh hours per year for our channel, which is quite a lot. I made a deal last year with OB for Last Flight to Abuja and The Mirror Boy, but the thing is that I just don't have time to make just deals from one movie and just another one. I need partners, just like Iroko, to have good volumes.
Voilà, une réponse très intéressante de la part de Nollywood TV qui dit qu'elle n'a pas forcément le temps de dealer avec les producteurs individuellement parce qu'ils ont besoin de 500 heures par année sur leur programme. Merci beaucoup. There are other ways as well to show films, and right now we have a new platform in France that is represented by Tonje here. The name of that platform is
AfroStream. Hi everyone. I'm the founder and CEO of AfroStream. AfroStream is like a Netflix of black content. And first, I want to thank you guys. You don't know how much your work is important for us in Europe, in France, in all over the world, because a guy like me, I've been raised in France where the representation of black people in the mainstream media is very low. It was difficult for me to find my place in the society when the little that was shown about my community was rather negative. And a few years ago when I discovered the production, the Afro-American production with like big success over there, never released in Europe or Africa. Later I discovered your work in Africa, in Nollywood in Nigeria, in Ghana, or even in South Africa. I discovered stories full of characters, like black characters that I can relate to. It was like a big change for me. So it was important for me to thank you all because your work has an impact on the black community all over the world. And so my platform, thank you. My platform, it's an online platform. And I want to tell you something important about distribution. First, don't think locally, think globally. Black people don't just speak English. So you need to work with a platform. We provide subtitles, and so don't sell your rights for peanuts and for worldwide. Don't sell exclusivity. Don't do that because I tried to reach some of your producer, and they told me, oh yeah, but we sold our rights with like one company and they detained the right for all over the world. Don't do that. There's going to be a lot of platform, a lot. Just sell 1 to 1 to 1. You're gonna make more money. What's the point to sell like your movie for 5,000 when you can sell 2,000, 2,000, 2,000,
3,000, 5,000.
Do that. Do that. Stop. If you want to do exclusivity, do it if the platform produce the movie.
Yes.
If it don't produce, no exclusivity. There's gonna be with the internet. There's gonna be a lot of iRocco and AfroStream and other like this. The difference between iRocco and AfroStream is, I don't think it's a good idea to have just a channel or a platform focused just on Nollywood. It's important for you to be in platform larger. Like AfroStream, it's about Afro, about black movies and TV show. And your work gonna be shown with Afro-American production at the same level. Because we are all artists here. We're not specific. Yeah, you talk about Nigeria, you talk about Africa, but your work needs to be shown with the global contribution of the artist. And I think it's going to change the way the world see the black content. Because, okay, it's Nollywood, but first it's black content, it's Afro content, and you have something to tell, to say to the world. So I'm big glad to talk with you after, to exchange with you, because it's important for me to be in touch with the artists. Because today, I just want to license your work, but tomorrow, maybe in like 3 years or 5 years, we're going to work together. We're going to produce together. We're going to do some stuff together. So, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ok, donc une petite traduction. Donc voilà, AfroStream est une plateforme en ligne qui existe et qui grandit et qui donc souhaite non seulement faire de la licence, mais également s'investir aussi dans la production, dans la coproduction. Et le conseil de Tonje à tous les producteurs et les réalisateurs qui sont là, c'est de ne pas vendre leurs droits de manière exclusive à une personne, enfin à une entité, mais plutôt de dispatcher et d'en avoir beaucoup plus, parce que ça va leur rapporter plus, tout simplement. Et aussi de ne pas oublier que c'est quelque chose de global. Le monde afro, c'est aussi global. Nollywood a sa place dans ce monde afro, et c'est pas restreint, c'est le monde afro de manière générale, et c'est quelque chose de très important, de très demandé, vu d'ici, de France et ailleurs dans le monde. Voilà, on va devoir conclure rapidement. Avant de conclure, on a une dernière présentation par Balancing Act, qui est un cabinet qui produit beaucoup d'études sur l'Afrique, etc., qui vont nous parler de ces dernières études sur la distribution. Voilà, donc Sylvain, à toi.
Yes, so Balancing Act is a research company, and we also have a newsletter on broadcast across the whole of Africa, and we have many subscribers. There are a few, obviously, Nollywood media that relay the news about Nollywood. We try and do it across the whole of Africa. You also have quite a few good websites in South Africa, like Screen Africa, or Biz Community, and so on. Anyway, I just wanted to make 2 points about distribution for films, because we look at the full picture, not only Africa, but how African films are being distributed outside of Africa. And so we've published 3 reports on the topic. There was one about the whole ecosystem, another one much more focused on DTT deployment. DTT is a very hot issue right now because there's a target date next year that most countries will not reach. It's not a big deal. It costs a fortune. There are other priorities. But just to say that we are tracking that on a daily basis, and what's happening now is that over 50 countries in Africa, you just have 2 countries which have almost completed DTT. I mean, Mauritius is the best example, but Mauritius is a special story. And the other one is Tanzania, which have complete in some ways. It's not fully completed because they are still rolling out by region, but we could say it's complete. And then you have to date 9 countries which have started to launch DTT. There are 2 players on that segment, and it's interesting, of course, from a distribution point of view for you guys, producers and filmmakers, because you obviously want to sell to as many platforms and channels as possible. So DTT is interesting, and you need to obviously find channels that will be included in those DTT platforms. Today 9 countries have launched. Yeah, sorry, DTT is, who knows what DTT is? Terrestrial, voilà. So it's basically what we have in Europe. In France, it was launched in 2005. It's part of digital TV. The benefit, there are several benefits, but the key benefit, I would say, from a technology point of view, is to free up spectrum, because analog TV takes a lot of spectrum. And if you switch over to DTT, you free up the spectrum, which can be used for mobile telecom service providers and so on. There are many other benefits. Obviously, it's easier to produce in digital format and then to broadcast in digital format rather than to go from analog, digital, and so on, do all the transfer. There are also benefits for the population, for the government, for many parties. It just costs a fortune. Just to give you an idea, a small country like, I don't know, for example, Benin, or a small country would need to spend at least $20 million just for the terrestrial deployment of DTT. Nigeria would need to spend something like 400 for a full terrestrial TV deployment here. So $400 million. Yeah. Anyway, so that's the future. DTT is the future. It will happen one day. A more interesting aspect is also VOD related to Africa. A few clients asked us 2 years ago, OTT will come to Africa and so on. Can you look into how many VOD platforms there are in Africa? We said, yeah, of course, we track it every day. There are 10 of them. We'll, in 1 month, we'll give you the report. But the more we dig, the more we find new platforms, and we keep tracking it today. And we've identified 60 VOD platforms related to Africa. And we've seen 12 reasonably good platforms just focused on Nollywood. So that's exploding. In Europe, you have about 5,000 VOD platforms. Each of them have our niche. But obviously, VOD is part of the distribution strategy for filmmakers. So you guys need to sign with as many VOD platforms as possible. Of course, on a non-exclusive basis, it would make sense. Unless you just don't want to waste time on that, you don't believe in it for now, and you sign, on an exclusive basis. So we have, I think, how many VOD platforms do we have represented today? We've got 2. Right. So AfricaFilm.tv.
AfroStream.
And AfroStream.
And another one.
Oh, there's another one, sorry.
What's the name of your platform? Adzi.
Okay, so that's enough. I'm going to write it down. That's how we do market research. We go to conferences and we ask questions. Ouais, ok. Donc en français, juste pour résumer, donc la TNT en Afrique est en train d'être lancée, mais tout est en retard. Ça représente beaucoup d'argent, beaucoup d'intérêt, il y a beaucoup d'histoires politiques par rapport à ça. Je peux vous en dire plus après la conférence. Sur la VOD, on a fait une étude de marché sur les plateformes VOD liées à l'Afrique, on en a trouvé une 60aine aujourd'hui. Évidemment, l'intérêt pour les réalisateurs, c'est de signer avec le maximum de plateformes de VOD, si possible de façon non exclusive, parce que ça permet de signer avec plusieurs plateformes évidemment, et en plus d'avoir des revenus récurrents qui, normalement, si tout va bien, vont augmenter dans le temps, parce que évidemment avec la connectivité qui augmente dans toute l'Afrique, il y a un gros potentiel à l'avenir. C'est aussi le nouveau mode pour regarder la télévision, on appelle en anglais les cord cutters. Autour de moi, il y a plein de gens qui ne regardent plus la télé, qui n'ont plus de télé, et c'est en train enfin, c'est un phénomène mondial, quoi. Voilà, pour résumer. Donc si vous avez d'autres questions, n'hésitez pas. Merci.
Balancing Act, if you want more information, you can just type Balancing Act or talk to Sylvain directly. Okay, it's time to wrap it up. In 1 hour from now, we will have the first film of the day, right here, The Meeting. So thank you very much for coming. I hope the discussion was interesting to you, and do not hesitate to talk with the people that you've met. That's what it's for as well. It's a networking session. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in 1 hour.